Hi there, independent community. Happy International Yoga Day. My name is Lindsay Platky. I am the co-owner of Stroller Strong Moms, DC, affectionately known as SLAM, Sweat Like a Mother. I'm an avid fitness enthusiast. I love to run. I love the unique combination of strength and conditioning that SLAM offers, but my first love is absolutely yoga. I have been practicing since I was about 16 and a certified instructor for the past 10 years, and I recently completed my 500-hour advanced teacher certification with a focus in yoga for athletes. I'm very passionate about encouraging athletes, and in my case, mama athletes especially, to incorporate some yoga into their weekly routine to create a sense of balance. All right, so our practice today is going to start out right on the mat. You don't need anything but yourself and a nice, flat, even space. Go ahead and start out on your hands and knees. Bring your knees right under your hips. Press into your palms. And you're going to come into an extension pattern here first, a cow pose. Lifting up your chin. Gazing upward. Then press into the palms. And flexion of the spine here, drawing your chin towards your chest, rounding through your back. Inhale, coming back through to that cow pose, extension. Exhale, back to a cat, round. Release the tailbone towards the ground. Good. Inhale, back to cow. Exhale, cat. Just continuing following this pattern. Using your own breath cues here. Maybe you're going a little faster or a little slower than me. Finding some movement in that spine. Good, then just one more of each here. Finding that cow. Exhale, back to cat. And then inhale, find a neutral spine. Good. From here, we're going to extend the right leg out to the side. Press down through the pinky toe side of the foot so that it's completely flat. Then leaving the right hand where it is, draw the left arm up towards your ceiling or sky if you're outside. And then thread that left arm down to the shoulder in between the right hand. Lift back up. And then threads. Good, adding the breath cues here. Inhale to open up. Exhale, thread. Inhale, open up. Exhale, thread. One more time. Inhale, open up. And then as you exhale, come down to that shoulder and we're gonna stay here. Press into that right palm. Or maybe you walk that right hand to the top of your mat here. Good. Keep breathing. Then walking that right hand in, press into the palm, back up to center, and then take that extended right leg and cross it over your left calf. Plant the toes, heel is lifted, and gaze towards the left, over the left shoulder. You're feeling some length here through the right side body and some contraction through the left. Good, then it's back to all fours. Good, switching sides here, extend the left leg out. Plant the whole foot. Leave the left hand where it is. Right arm extends up towards the ceiling or sky. And then exhale down to the shoulder. Inhale to rise. Exhale. Exhale down to the shoulder. One more time here. Inhale, lift. Exhale down to the shoulder. Good. You'll stay here for a moment. Either press firmly into the left hand, or maybe you walk that hand to the top of the mat. Breathe. Feeling some rotation through the upper back here. Then walk the left hand back in, press into the palm, lift back up to center, all fours, and cross that left leg over the right calf. Plant the toes, heel up, gaze towards the right. Length through the left side here, contraction through the right. Beautiful, and it's back to all fours. From here, we're going to come into our first downward facing dog. Press into your palms, tuck your toes, lift your hips up. Good. Feel free to wiggle about here a little bit. Maybe walking your hands out a smidge, or you're bending one knee and then the other. Then on the inhale, you're gonna roll forward, coming into a plank pose, drawing your shoulders over your wrists, maybe slightly bending the knees here if you need to. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Inhale, coming forward, turning on those abdominals. Exhale, back. One more time here. Inhale, coming forward into a plank. And then exhale, back to your downward facing dog. Gazing forward, step your right foot up in between your hands and release your left knee down towards the mat. Inhale, raise your arms up and come to a higher lunge here with your rib cage over your hips and your hip over your knee. Good. Press your palms together, interlock your fingers, turn your palms up towards the ceiling or sky. Relax the shoulders down, but reach big with the arms. Gently drawing the tailbone under here. Feeling sensation through the left quad here. Good. On your next exhale, bring your right hand down towards your right hip, but keep your left arm lifting up and then over towards the right. Emphasizing that sensation in the left side hip flexor. Good. Inhale, both arms lift up. Beautiful. Exhale, hands come out in front of you. Wrap your right arm underneath your left here. Bind at the elbows and bend at the wrists. Press your palms together. Send your elbows away from your chest and your hands away from your face. So eagle arms here, opening up through the upper back. Exhale, unbind. Bring your hands down to frame your foot and step back to your downward facing dog. Other side, gaze forward. Step your left foot up in between your hands. Release your back knee down. Inhale, lift up all the way. Good. Ribcage over the hip. Slightly release your tailbone down, sending your hips forward a bit. Exhale, send your hands behind your back this time. Press the palms together, interlock the fingers again, and send the knuckles away from your chest, or away from your back, opening up your chest. Keep breathing, trying not to breath hold here. Good. Exhale, unbind. Inhale, lift the hands up towards the sky or ceiling. Exhale, left hand comes down this time. Right arm lifts up and then over towards the left. Inhale, both arms rise up. Exhale, hands come out in front of you. This time, left arm comes underneath the right. Wrap together, press the palms. And then send those hands away from your face, your elbows away from your chest. Eagle arms. A couple more breaths here. Beautiful. Exhale, unbind. Frame your foot. Step back, downward facing dog. Good. Gazing forward again. Step your right foot up in between your hands. This time, keep that back leg lifted. Really send some energy into that back leg. Heel back. Press into your front foot. We're going to fly here, y'all. Here we go. Shift the weight into the front leg, the right leg, as you lift up. Warrior three pose. Good. Your arms can be reaching forward, or maybe they're back more like an airplane. See if you can't point those toes towards the ground. Really hinge at the hip so that your belly is parallel to your mat. Good. We're here for 5. Strong leg. 4, 3, 2, And 1, slowly begin to bend your standing leg, bringing your hands down towards the ground. Release your left knee down towards your mat. And then we're going to move here dynamically between a left hip flexor stretch and then back to a hamstring stretch through the right side. Ooh, toes point up towards the ceiling. Good, inhale, come forward. Exhale, hips back. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, hips back. One more time. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, hips back. We're gonna stay here for just a moment. Good. This is a pose that can be made a little easier for you if you have some yoga blocks or something to lean on to bring the earth closer to you. Otherwise, you might be bending your knee a little bit more than I am. No worries. We're working on feeling sensation here through the back of the right leg. Beautiful. Good. Come forward, bend that front knee, frame your foot, step back, downward facing dog. Good. Let's even out here. Send the left foot forward, up in between your hands. Good. Press into the front foot, send your heel back. Good. Fire up that back leg, lifting up through the quad. Let's fly. Shift the weight into the front leg and lift the back. Maybe the arms are reaching out in front of you. Your hips hinge so that the belly is parallel to your mat or your ground. Back foot flexes, toes point towards the earth. Beautiful. Maybe your arms are here, reaching back. Good, 3, 2, and 1. Soften your standing leg. Gently bring your hands down towards the ground and release your right knee to the mat. Good. Breathe, inhale. Exhale, let's come back into that hamstring stretch. Toes point up towards the ceiling or sky. Good, inhale, come forward. Exhale, back. Beautiful. And back. Moving dynamically here. Might be going a little faster or slower than me. The next time you come into that hips back position, toes up, let's stay here for a moment. Feeling a yummy hamstring stretch on that left side. Lift up through the chest. Breathe. Try not to collapse the hips too far back. You might lose that sensation in the back of the left leg. Here for 3, 2, and 1. Good. Come back forward, bend the front knee. Frame your foot, step back, downward facing dog. Good. Coming back forward, this time move your right hand in just a little bit away from the side of the mat. And you're going to bring your right foot to the outside of that right hand. Stay lifted here at first. Keep your left hand down and raise your right arm coming into a twist. Good. Reach big with those fingertips. Fire up through the back leg. Send your heel back. Exhale. Right hand comes down. And then release your left knee down to the mat. So this is your lizard pose. A nice outer hip stretch. There's some variation. Some of us might be right here up on our palms. Or you might come down to a yoga block. Or maybe down to your forearms. Okay? Think about keeping your back nice and flat, crown of the head, moving forward rather than rounding through the upper back and looking towards your knees. Good. And again, you might be here. Oops. Good, then if you're still on your forearms, come back up onto your palms here, and we're gonna move into pigeon pose. I want you to wiggle that right foot across your mat, and then equally distribute the weight. Might need to fidget a little bit from side to side. Inhale, extend your chest up, proud pigeon, and then exhale, fold forward. Good. Maybe you're coming down to your forearms. Maybe you're extending those arms and lying all the way down. See what feels good for you today. If you want to make this a little bit more active, maybe you tuck those back toes, lift the back leg. Beautiful. Just a couple more breaths here. And if you're down on your belly, come back up onto your forearms, then onto your palms. Press into your hands evenly, tuck your back toes, and let's step back, downward facing dog. Good. Might feel funny, might need to even out a little bit. Then draw your left hand in a little bit as we step the left foot on the outside of the left wrist. Good. Keep that back leg active and lifted to start here. Right palm down, left arm lifts up. Little twist. Beautiful. Exhale. Left hand comes down, as does the right knee. Good. And you're in your lizard pose right now, just as you are. If you want to go a little deeper, find some more sensation. Maybe you come down to your forearms or down to a block. See what feels good. Keeping the crown of the head moving forwards. Keep breathing. Then press back up onto your palms. If you're still on your forearms, lift up. Let's walk that left foot across your mat, coming into pigeon pose. Equally distribute the weights. The left heel is now somewhere in between the right wrist and the right hip. Might be a little bit closer to the wrist, might be a little bit closer to the hip. Every body is different. Inhale, lift the chest, proud pigeon, little back bend here. And exhale, come forward. Maybe that's down to your belly, or maybe that's down to your forearms. Beautiful. Just a couple more deep breaths here. And if you're on your belly, let's come back up onto our forearms, then onto our palms. This time we are collapsing onto this left side, and we're gonna bring around the right leg and come to a seated position. Bring the soles of the feet together. Bring your heels close towards your body. Reach for your toes. Inhale, lift your chest, find length. Exhale, come forward. For this butterfly pose or cobbler's pose, I like to place my upper arm bone on the outside of my shin bone, getting a little bit more leverage here in the inner line of the hip. And inhale, lift up the chest, extend the legs out in front of you. Might want to fidget and wiggle a little bit. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, come forward. Reaching for the soles of the feet, or maybe it's the ankles for you today. Maybe you need to bend your knees a little bit here to feel sensation through the hamstrings. Totally fine. Beautiful. Inhale, lift back up to center, extending your chest. You're going to bend your right knee over top of the left, which is going to stay extended. Inhale, lift the right arm up and twist towards the right. With your left hand, you might give that right leg a hug in. Think about On each inhale, finding a little bit more lift, a little bit more length. On each exhale, maybe deepening that twist just a little bit. Breathe. Good. Come back to center. Extend the legs for a moment. And then cross the left leg over the right. The knee up towards the sky, the foot planted on the earth. Good. Inhale, lift up the left arm. Exhale, twist towards the left. Maybe you're hugging that left leg in with the right hand. Maybe gazing over that left shoulder a little bit more. If that bothers your neck though, feel free to keep it neutral and gaze forward. And back to center. Good. We're going to end in a cross-legged position. So find a seat that feels good for you. Bring your hands to heart center. Good. We're going to take 3 deep breaths here. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through your mouth. Inhale. 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 Beautiful work. Namaste, independent community, and happy International Yoga Day. Thank you for having me.